All right, friends, we're back with the man himself, JasonBlaha, strength and fitness, the gym lifting, recruiting, lifting slave, Michelle. Client Michelle is back, dude. Oh my God. I don't know why, but whatever. She's paying him money to exercise her. This is crazy. To train her. This is nuts. But anyway, I'm going to review this video by JasonBlaha. Look at this face he's making there. Look at him, dad bod. He's going to take you from daddy bod to daddy bod, from dad bod to daddy bod. All right, Blaha says, new exercises and silly devices are not the key to gains. Yeah, they're not. I can tell you what the key to gains are, but I can mention again in this video, like I've always done in my old videos.
Most new exercises that people come up with are oftentimes no better and in many cases demonstrably worse than many classic proven exercises. And I'm not saying we should.
Okay, you know, here's the thing, man. This is kind of funny because somebody was asking me about, I left something out about sarcoplasm. I never left anything out in science when it came to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. I explained this over and over and over again. I think people do not understand that fat cells are not regulated by M&D size limit. Okay, man? You don't get more fat cells and you don't get less fat cells. They just get bigger or smaller. Now, when it comes to muscle cells, they have an M&D size limit. They call it cytoplasm. But that cytoplasm is made up of what? Sarcoplasmic. That's right. But guess what? The surrounding parts of the filaments in muscles are also filled up with sarcoplasmic. Now, what is sarcoplasmic? Glycogen. What is glycogen? An energy source, dude. Get it? You understand me? So all of you people out there are what you're lifting for is you're drawing energy into the muscle in the form of what? Glycogen. Okay. What type of form? And it's highly regulated. Now, what type of form is fat cells made up of? Triglyceride. The energy source in fat cells is made up of triglyceride. Now, what is the energy source made up in muscle cells? What are they made up of? The muscles, the surrounding muscle, and the muscle cells. Glycogen. Yes, man, glycogen. So all of you are going to the gym to load an energy sources. I don't know, maybe you're eating fat to get fat. You want glycogen, you want a triglyceride energy source, and you're loading glycogen in the muscle, an energy source. What do runners do when they want to run distances, long distances? What do they do before they run? They glycogen load. Yeah, they load glycogen. What do these phony bodybuilders do before they even get on stage? What do they do? What do they do? They eat a lot of carbohydrates so they can pump up. Get it? You understand me? They pump up. They need to get pumped, bro. What do bodybuilders do and other lifters do when they go to the gym? They chase the what? The pump. Get it, bro? So it's a type of artificial muscle growth. It's artificial muscle growth. You understand me? It's based on glycogen. But I think people don't even understand that. So you could go to the gym and lift weights and gain a bunch of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, or you could go there and damage muscles and repair and remodel them stronger. But I told you, they're resilient after with a repeated bout to repair and remodel bigger and stronger. But like I said, do you get stronger? Do you get stronger if you get this glycogen inside there in the muscles and stuff? No, glycogen doesn't make you stronger. It gives you a lot of energy though, pushing the weights and all that kind of stuff. Does a bunch of other things. Here's another thing. Okay, so the cell can only get so big. How do you meet that? How do you maximize that domain? Well, it's through really sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, and of course you need protein synthesis if you're breaking down any contractile proteins in muscle. You understand me? If you're breaking down contractile proteins, you want to put them back. Proteins are being broken down all the time. What type of proteins are there? Well, there are sarcoplasmic proteins, and then there's regular contractile proteins and stuff, and they break down and they build up over time, whatever, man. So yeah, But you want to build more myofibrillar growth. Definitely sarcoplasmic hypertrophy helps with myofibrillar packing because you need space to grow those muscle fibers. But you're not damaging them anymore because you're not getting any more adaptations. You're just coming in the gym lifting like a gym lifting slave. I think people don't even understand that they're just really building phony muscles. That's why the gains are going. The gains are going, and the gains are always going. They're building phony muscles. So if it can hold all that glycogen in the reticulum and then also the cells made up of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, these cells, what do you think people are getting on steroids? See what I mean? Okay, how does a natural person get really big? How do they grow these big muscles? I'm not talking about steroids, big muscles. It's easy. Eat a lot of starch. Eat a lot of starchy food. Don't eat sugar and all that weird foods. Just eat a good starch like potatoes and eat a lot of protein. And then you can combine the two. You can combine the phony stuff, this glycogen, whatever, build it up, and muscle damage. You can, if you know how to do that, you can combine the two together, and you can get even bigger, and you can get stronger with myofibrillar growth. But you're not going to get stronger with sarcoplasmic growth, bro. Get it? But you will get a forced production in myocytic androgen receptor that controls the forced production. That's why it's phony. The strength is phony if you're chasing that type of adaptation. And glycogen loading sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is not based on adaptations. It's not based on anything, man. It is not overseen by follistatin, myostatin, or the satellite cell. It's overseen by energy. Yes. You'd be surprised how much energy fat cells can store. You'd be surprised how much muscles can store in energy and glycogen. A lot. Yes. Tens and 20s and 30s of pounds and pounds of it.
Look at new exercises and say, hey, this makes a lot of sense. This is a good thing, such as, the reverse hyper, now granted that's not that new at this point, it's decades old, but it's definitely not a classic lift. But I think the problem here is when you have influence.
JasonBlaha is never going to build any muscle because any real muscle, tangible muscle that hang around. He's never building any real muscle because he doesn't understand it's based on something called muscle damage. Now, that sarcoplasmic muscle, it's phony. You could put a bunch of glycogen in your muscle and pretend you got muscles and say, look, man, I got muscles. I'm big and cool. It may look big and cool and everything carrying around a bunch of glycogen in your muscle, but it's not healthy to do that either for you. Too much of that crap is not good. But if that's your main focus and you're going to the gym and you're adapted and you're getting the pump, I got to get pumped and all that, get more of the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, well, you go ahead and do that. But like I said, it's not that healthy and it's not based on real myofibrillar growth. It's not based on real muscles, man. It's phony. It's phony. It's based on an energy source and they're just getting pumped to visually look cool, have big muscles, but they're not real muscles.
And people online who are either trying to sell equipment or they're trying to sell complexity. They try to give people exercises they don't need. Again, building lats. Lats, you see me doing weighted chin-ups right here. Lats are really not that difficult to build. Get really strong at weighted chin-ups, weighted pull-ups. You will have lats, I promise you.
Yeah, that's why I try to tell you. He keeps telling you you're going to build muscles, lifting away. Well, what are you building there, lifting something? Well, it's sarcoplasmic. You're drawing glycogen in the muscle, really. Again, it's not based on an adaptation process, man. It's based on energy. I think people really are confused out there.
Hey, the chin-ups can help with your biceps. Barbell curls are great for biceps. If that's not enough, you might want to look into something like a preacher curl or an incline.
Okay. You don't believe me? I'll prove it in this video here. I'll prove it really fast for people that may not believe what I say. I posted this recently because somebody asked me something, so I posted a whole bunch of stuff there, and they still don't understand this. There is such a thing as sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, muscle hypertrophy, or muscle growth refers to an increase in muscle mass. What's that increase in muscle mass? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Okay, man, it's an energy source. There are two types of muscular hypertrophy. There's myofibrillar growth, right? Which is an increase in myofibrillars. How do you increase myofibrillar growth? Muscle damage increases myofibrillar growth through what? Through something called hyperplasia, okay? Now, this is all of you guys. Hypertrophy. You love to hypertrophy. And sarcoplasmic, that's the second one. That's the second hypertrophy, which is an increase in what? Muscle glycogen storage, dude. Get it? And that's the one that all of you doing. You want mass. That mass is based on glycogen. Yeah, man. You understand? That's what you're getting in the gym. And you're trying to tell me that hyperplasia doesn't exist? Okay. It doesn't exist. And keep building these phony muscles. Even here it tells you these people who train, these trained people and train young men, 6 weeks of training is largely attributed to what? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Yeah, man. I don't know if I put some more stuff here. What else did I put here? Hold on. So you could pull this up even in Google. It says, what is the sarcoplasm, cytoplasm of a muscle? Well, sarcoplasm is the cytoplasm of a muscle cell. See that? It's an energy source. Okay. So what is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy around the myofibrils? Well, there's a thing called packing, so it fills up in there as well. So not only is sarcoplasm, it is the cytoplasm of the muscle cell, but it is comparable to the cytoplasm of other cells as well. But it contains unusual large amounts of what? Glycogen. And what is glycogen? An energy source. It's a polymer of what? Glucose. What is glucose? Sugar. Well, you could say sugar, I guess, right? Myoglobin and red-colored protein necessary for binding oxygen molecules that diffuse into muscle fibers. And mitochondria. Oh, so there you go, man. Maybe people don't understand that. So sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is a kind of what? Artificial muscle growth, wherein muscles increase its size visually by increasing the amount of fluid it can hold, but it is not increasing the density of the muscle fibers. So if it doesn't increase the density of the muscle fibers, what increases the density of the muscle fibers? What increases it? Well, you know, these myonuclei and, myofibrillar growth. Myofibrillar growth does. Here's another one. And here's the phony strength. Importantly, we also show that AR deficiency, this is androgen receptor deficiency in limb myositis, impairs myofibrillar organization of sarcomeres and decreases muscle strength, thus demonstrating that what? Myocytic androgen receptor controls key pathways required for what? Maximum force production. The myocytic androgen receptor controls strength, but not the mass of what? The limb muscles. Yeah, man. So what is this sarcoplasmic fluid? It's artificial muscle growth. Do you think that makes you stronger at your lifts? That's why you see these guys that say, well, he got bigger, but he didn't get any stronger. No. You got better at lifting a heavy weight. You got this androgen receptors that are required for maximum force production. Get it? In motor units. You've been practicing at lifting a heavy weight. You're a lifting slave. Get it? Here, you're a lifting slave. And this one here, you're a gym slave to fluid. This fluid that can hold to increase the muscles. The fluid that increases it. Artificial muscle growth, sarcoplasmic. Get it, bro? This guy talks about it in his video. I posted this in my community section, broski. You can check it out. And somebody asked me, what is this effect of high-fat diet on sarcoplasmic reticulum? Well, there's a reticulum, there's sarcoplasmic. High-fat diet has an effect on it. Get it? It's ATP. Notice that it says here ATP pace. It's an energy source, dude. Activity in different types of rat skeletal muscles. Well, they talk about rats. I don't know. Maybe you'll try to make sense of that. Sarcoplasmic proteins are responsible for the metabolism in an animal cell. They are found in the sarcoplasm of fluids surrounding the myofibrils. See, it's found in the fluids surrounding the myofibrils. It also makes up the cytoplasm of a muscle cell. They are made up of mostly oxidative enzymes, heme, pigments, myoglobin, the mitochondria, oxidative enzymes, lysosomes, enzymes, and nucleoproteins. Nucleoproteins, yes. Sarcoplasm of myogen friction in muscle is a large family of proteins that share a property of being soluble in water and dilute salt, blah, 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 proteins, whatever. Sarcoplasmic proteins from fish are more or less like those of land animals and include myoglobin, hundreds of enzymes, okay, whatever. This gets boring. The abundant sarcoplasm, i.e. cytoplasm, within the core of the myotube between and around nuclei contains membranous organelles that are whatever. These are mitochondria as well as formed crystea, Golgi, whatever apparatuses are generally located at the end of the nucleus and single membrane, whatever. There's more stuff there on sarcoplasm, man. It goes on forever, bro. But anyways, let's go back to this video. I hope that cleared up something. I don't know.
But those are all basic time-proven exercises. And when people hear that, I don't even mean they've only been in common use 20, 30 years. I'm talking everything I just listed is extremely old school.
Yes, they're all common exercise to drive energy into the muscles. And then you create a phony muscle look. I think people don't even know what muscles do or what they're for. What is this about? What is this muscles? You just want to go to the gym and build muscle. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to build muscles. But meanwhile, you're building an energy source in the muscle. But then you go and you pose and you go, look, I look big and jacked. I look jacked. Well, you may look jacked with a lot of energy inside your muscles. The muscles can hold a lot of energy. So you look jacked, holding a lot of energy. I think people are confused between the energy and looking jacked. I look jacked, but that doesn't necessarily make you physically stronger. What makes you physically stronger is when your muscles grow more myofibrils, and they only grow through an adaptation process called a damage, repair, and remodeling, micro injuries. I think people don't even understand those things. Yeah. But if you're adapted and you keep lifting these weights and you keep eating this glycogen, you keep eating like starchy shit, you're going to build up a lot of glycogen in those muscles and you're going to look more jacked than the last time, bro. But you're never going to get that strong. You're never going to be strong. You'll be good at lifting a heavy weight through androgen receptor strength, this artificial strength. You'll get an adaptation through that. So you're not getting stronger physically. You're getting better at lifting a heavy weight. That's why you're a small, strong guy. Get it, dude?
You literally go back to the 50s, and incline curls are one of the favorite curls of some of the top bodybuilders. I mean, we're getting old school there. 70 years ago.
You think he's building muscles, lifting this weight repetitively like a lifting slave, up and down and bouncing it on the floor? He's doing nothing. I told you, he's adapted. It's energy. Your muscles hold energy so it can carry you around through a famine, through going and hunting for animals, for food, to do a bunch of stuff. But what is he doing? He's locked himself in a garage, repetitively lifting weights in perpetual hell. By doing what? Restoring this energy, and the energy is going out and coming back in. Through what? The sarcoplasm. You understand me? He's never built any muscle whatsoever. What he built was nothing. He got better at lifting a heavy weight, and he takes a drug to lift it. So you tell me, how deranged do you have to be to take a drug to try to put more of this glycogen in your muscle so you could be pretend jacked and then lift a heavy weight through molecule strength because you didn't practice at getting an adaptation in androgen receptors in your own receptors to lift the weight. You took an injection so you got more molecules to bind to the receptors instead of getting more receptors, the opposite in a natural person, to be good at lifting a heavy weight. Why would you practice at lifting a heavy weight when in the factory, when you go to your factory job or your job, you exercise? Like James Bond once says, the lady asked him, do you exercise? He goes, when I need to. Yeah. Do you lift a heavy box? No. When do you lift it? When I need to. Where will you adapt to it? At the factory, at the job. When you work in a construction job, you're going to be doing different movements and lifts and all that. When are you going to adapt to these movements on the job, these exercises, you exercising at your job, getting paid for it? You're going to do it there on the job. Hello. This guy has no job. He has no life. So what does he do? He's a lifting slave, get it? And people ask me, well, why don't you go to the gym often and be a lifting slave like us and a gym slave? Because I'm not fucking retarded or stupid like the rest of the fucking people out there. I'm not trying to chase phony muscles called glycogen muscles, get it? Energy muscles, and then get good at lifting a fucking stupid heavy weight like an asshole 24 fucking hours off the floor, bouncing it off the floor like a yo-yo. And then I got to put back this energy in there because all my gains are going. My gains, my glycogen gains, my phony gains are going. Give me a fucking break.
So people see all these different things. They're like, no, you need to have this. You need to have this cable or this cable attachment. My God. You got to have this machine to build big lats or complete back development. Does anyone understand how ludicrous that is? And it's going to get even more ludicrous if some of this current research that I'm not necessarily buying into turns out true. The most effective stuff is going to be even a lower variation than what we have now. Some of the stuff on these lengthened partials and things, meaning as any exercise that puts you into a lengthened position probably causes the best hypertrophy. Oh man, that's going to throw out a lot of this.
Yeah, hypertrophy, just look, man. Hypertrophy is just a word. It means something's getting bigger. He is hypertrophying through energy, an energy source called what? Glycogen. Why? Because he's restoring the energy that you're losing. Energy's going out and energy's coming back. You understand me? There is protein turnover there. I'm not saying that contractile proteins are not breaking down too as well and building up. You understand me? But it isn't based on the cytoplasm of the cell. Man, I think people are really confused. And even to push that domain, you definitely need sarcoplasmic hypertrophy to push the muscle cell before a donation of the nuclei can come in an adaptation. Otherwise, it won't donate its nuclei if it hasn't reached a maximum threshold.
Nonsense. If that's actually the case, I am not fully buying into it.
And then what do the cells fill up with when you get new cells? Glycogen. They fill up with cytoplasm, glycogen. Yes, man. It's all over again. But you have an extracellular matrix because you've gained more muscle cells and myotubes and stuff.
But there's probably a degree of truth to it. But no, really, everyone acts like they need all these fancy special movements, and this is what's holding them back. Because I didn't do hip thrust, which is really a newer exercise, I don't consider that a classic or basic exercise. I'm not saying I don't program it for clients occasionally.
He's lifting for no other reason than to expel energy and then put that energy back in. That's why they always say recover. I told you, runners recover. Us real bodybuilders who are getting adaptations, we don't recover, we grow. But you recover. If you're saying you recover, it means you're recovering what? Energy loss. Your energy's going out and energy's coming back. So you guys, that's why I'm so confused. They're like, work out 6 days a week. You can work out 7 days a week. You can work out 6 days a week and take a week off to what? To recover? How do you recover? Energy. What do you see Sam Sulik eating in his fucking videos, bro? What do you see him eating? Guess what he's eating? He's eating chocolate milk. He's eating cereal. He's eating donuts all day. What do you think that is? Energy. What type of energy is that? Well, it's not from animal fat, is it? It's carbohydrates. Oh, glucose, glycogen. Oh shit, yeah.
It's a supplemental lift. Right? Hip thrust and glute bridges are supplemental.
He's only lifting the heavy. He's stupid. He doesn't have to lift so heavy in the gym. None of these people do. All they have to do is eat more glycogen. The more glycogen you eat, and then you just go to the gym and you lift, you're able to pump this glycogen for every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water drawn between skin and muscle into the muscle. So to get these fucking glycogen, these phony muscles, I told you before, it's based on starch. Eat a lot of complex carbohydrates like potatoes. Eat a shitload of it, and you'll build these phony muscles bigger than the last time. Get it? So it's not based on working hard. Maybe with Greg Doucette, maybe he has some right there or something going on there. I work harder than the last time. Yeah, work harder than the last time to put what? Put more energy. That's why it's based on fatigue training, fatiguing the muscles. When you fatigue it, there's an open window for what? Glycogen synthesis. Okay, what's the open window for protein synthesis? When protein is broken down. You understand me? When it's damaged. If it's damaged, there's an open window there too. But there's also a window in breakdown, I guess you could call it that, in these the contractile proteins. But what they're talking about recovering, it's more an energy source.
Left for your glutes. However, I mean, if we were to really look at the data closely, I don't know that they're that particularly great. Hypertrophy studies haven't been kind to them. And again, if any of this lengthened position stuff turns out to be true, then they would be technically not good exercises at all because they're really contracted position.
Again, he's just wasting his time. If you want to be bigger and jacked than the last time, buy yourself a 100-pound bag of potatoes and wolf them down like crazy and just go to the gym and lift. It's not based on lifting a heavy weight. But if you want to lift a heavy weight to be good at lifting a heavy weight, then practice at lifting a heavy weight. Go to failure even. And that'll make you better at lifting a heavy weight. But it's not going to make you physically stronger. It's going to make you better at lifting a heavy weight. But if you want to get physically stronger, you got to damage, repair, and remodel muscles bigger and stronger, more myofibular growth. It's not based on glycogen. And it's not based on molecule strength, okay? Androgen receptor strength, dude. Being good at lifting a heavy weight. You'll actually be naturally stronger. Your natural strength will proliferate and make you stronger naturally. You can start increasing natural strength. Through what? Through an adaptation of a repair and a remodeling, but that makes it very difficult because there are things that are blocking you from that, like folostat, myostat, satellite cell, and the repeat about effect phenomena. These are all adaptatory things to protect muscle from actually really growing. That's why it's easier to grow sarcoplasmic muscles because they're not protected by anything. It's an energy source. Your body loves to store a lot of energy, but it doesn't like to grow real muscles because it's got to carry you through a famine.
Now, I think those things can have their place. But at the end of the day, the research has shown, and the real world has generally shown, that just learning to squat correctly, doing deep squats will build your glutes with just a barbell.
Deep squats will build your glutes. They will. Doing deep squats, you'll be able to put more of this glycogen, this energy source, into your legs, and they'll blow up and look jacked than the last time.
Deep leg presses will do it. Both will also build your quads. They'll build your adductors.
Yeah, they'll build your quads and adductors by doing what? By drawing more glycogen into the muscle. Yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll build it. They won't damage it because he doesn't say they're damaging and repairing and remodeling. He says they're building it. And how do they build it? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. What is that? Glycogen. Yeah, man. And you're recovering. Get it? You're recovering. Like a runner, you're recovering. And then what does a runner do when he recovers? Oh, he stores the glycogen. He restores the glycogen that he lost in the run. He eats a lot of glycogen.
And again, I'm not saying other things don't have their place, but most people are not dedicating their entire life to the gym to where they're trying to find 37 different angles to become a professional bodybuilder.
37 angles to be a professional bodybuilder. What are these professional bodybuilders? They're taking drugs. They're looking for a particular look. They're taking drugs because it gives you it's artificial. It gives you an artificial look, man. This is really stupid.
If you're just trying to look really good, be really jacked, really strong, really athletic, you probably don't. Really jacked, really strong, really athletic, you probably don't need to be looking into any of the extra stuff. Again, back squats, front squats, maybe some split squats, leg presses will build all the leg you need. all the glute you need.
No, the exercises won't build those legs. What will build them is if glycogen synthesis exceeds that breakdown in that energy. You'll just load a lot of it, and most people eat a lot more glycogen than they eat meat. So just eat more glycogen. Forget the vegetables and all that, and all these fruits and everything. Eat potatoes. Well, the rice has too much arsenic in it. Eat potatoes. Potatoes are a lot better. And they don't spike your insulin. That's the good thing about it. See that? That's starch. And then you'll notice your muscles will get more jacked and bigger than the last time. More phonier. You'll get this nice, beautiful, phony jacked look. More phonier than the last time.
Sort of hip hinge. You can build hamstrings. Deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts. And I do like things like leg curls and glute ham raise devices. Mainly because of the other angles they hit, but are they really necessary? I mean, that's subject to debate. That's a whole nother debate as far as if we actually need that action or not, and how important it is for sport specificity or anything else. Okay. But the same thing, people are like, oh, we have this new chest machine, a new chest exercise, try doing them this way. Because barbells and dumbbells haven't produced Mr. Olympia chests for generations.
And I don't understand, what would it matter what angle or what thing you're doing your chest on there if you're shooting for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? This just training the muscles to load energy back into the muscles. I don't get it, man. All the people in the gym, they're not chasing muscle damage because they don't like that. So what are they chasing? Energy. They're busy loading energy into the muscle. They're getting better at lifting a heavy weight through androgen receptor strength. And they're loading a lot of this sarcoplasmic. Then they weigh themselves on the scale and they go, look, the weight's going up and everything. It's going up all right. But guess what's going up? It isn't myofibrillar growth. It isn't myofibrillar. Any weight that goes up that fast on anybody, eating a bunch of glycogen or potatoes or these weird carbohydrates all day. If you're eating all carbohydrates all day and you're weighing yourself on the scale, and the scale is like fucking climbing, whatever, going up, this, that, you're going to the gym, and if you think that's based on muscles, you have to be crazy, man. I was like, but I can lift a heavier weight. You can lift a heavy weight, but you never got an adaptation lifting that heavy weight. It's based on muscle damage, and muscles only ever get damaged when they're overworked. In an overworked, kind of unfamiliar state. That's the only way. Yeah, it tells you that in science everywhere. It says unaccustomed exercise is known to cause what? Widespread muscle damage. Does he look like he's unaccustomed to doing these fucking exercises, dude? No, man. Does this look like he's doing unfamiliar forms to you? No. So if unfamiliar forms and unaccustomed exercise and untrained people get what? Muscle damage. Then that must mean that that's what causes muscle damage to create myofibrillar growth. Okay, he's exercising all the time in the gym. What kind of fucking growth do you think this asshole is getting? It's sarcoplasmic, dude. It's based on glycogen loading. It's an energy source. Energy out, energy in. Get it, man? You have to be deranged not to understand that you're going to the gym and putting energy in your body in and out. Like what? This is stupid. And not only that, but you're getting an inflammatory response at the same time. You're inflaming muscles. I think people are daft when they watch these exercise things like Jeremy Ethier and all these weird people exercising. It's all energy, bro. And then they tell you, well, look, I'm burning fat. I'm getting muscular. Yeah, it's cosmetic. It's for a visual look, visual aspect. And what do they do after that? They eat a bunch of carbs, and then they load up all these carbs in their muscles. They may not think about it, like it may not be dawning on them in their brain, their small brain. They don't realize that they're loading carbs in their muscles. They tell you this when they go to bodybuilding competitions. We're carb loading. What do you think carb loading is? They're restoring some of the sarcoplasm in there. Now the cells are made up of sarcoplasmic, and so is the reticulum. Hello.
What? Because you haven't learned to perform them correctly? But I mean, I see.
Can you imagine? He's been lifting for 30 years, Just lifting. He's never damaged or repaired or remodeled and built any myofibrillar growth. Ever. He's waiting. He says, I'm going to get my weight down to under 200 because I'm burning fat. I got low body fat myself. I'm an ectomorph, but I weigh over 250. I'm talking about solid 250. I'm not eating any carbohydrates. I'm not trying to store energy in my body or anything. There's no carbohydrates or carbohydrate loading in me or anything. It's based on myofibrillar growth because I went through repeated bouts of injuries. It tells you in science to regenerate muscles, it needs to be repeated bouts of injuries over and over and over again. You get these through an adaptation process, and you keep doing that and you'll build myofibrillar growth. But if you keep coming into the gym like a lifting gym slave 4, 5, 6 days a week, that's energy. It's energy. You're recovering. You're not building, you're recovering. Get it? You're not building. You're recovering. This is crazy.
This stuff, people will come up, try this new thing. Try, bench pressing with the dumbbells pressed together in the middle. And it's like, what are you even trying to do? What are you trying to achieve?
They're like you, Blaha. That's what they're trying to achieve. To try to get good at lifting a heavy weight because they're stupid. They don't understand. It's based on an adaptation process.
I mean, in a lot of ways, that's just similar to a closed grip bench. Just get a barbell and closed grip bench if that's what you're trying to do. Now, you're not getting a good stretch on your chest, I can promise you that. You're just chasing a contraction at the top, but a closed grip does that pretty well. Do you even need that? A lot of times the guys are thinking if they need a contraction for whatever part of their chest, they probably just need more upper chest. Maybe some incline work would fix that. Probably a much better solution. Again, depending upon what you're doing. But yeah, the whole hip thrusting, then the booty band thing. All this nonsense, all these devices. And you see all these devices being sold that literally bring nothing to the table. People say, well, I feel my glutes when I use the booty band. No, you don't. And that upsets people when you...
I'll agree with them there. I don't know why people using booty bands or whatever the hell they're doing there, man. To do what? To restore some of these phony muscles again? It's crazy.
Tell them you're not actually feeling your glute. What you think you're feeling when you put the booty band on is not your glute. There's no biomechanical ability of the booty band to make your glutes contract. It cannot do it by adding it to something. It adds to literally nothing there. What you are feeling is your hip flexors, right? That's what you're feeling. You're probably feeling your abductors. They're right by the edge of the glute. Keep that in mind. You're feeling your abductors and you think you're feeling your glutes. It's all nonsense. Same thing people start adding. If you do this differently with the cable pressed down, it will work the triceps better. Then you look at what they're doing. It's like, objectively speaking, no, it won't. It's actually worse. But that's okay. It gives people gimmicks.
He looks so ordinary. He looks so ordinary, bro. Oh my God.
And everyone buys it. And what I'm telling people is you only need the basics. And again, basics can include isolation movements. I just listed multiple types of curls. I love laterals. I think laterals are fantastic, whether done with a barbell. Well, you can't do them with a barbell. It's balance. Dumbbells, cables, plates. I think lateral raises are fantastic. But that's a basic, time-proven, decade.
I like to hear when he says, my gains are going, my gains are going. I know guys that go on vacation for 2 weeks and my gains are going, my gains are going. They go away from a week or something from the gym and already their gains are going. What are these gains? Your energy source is going. Your glycogen is going. Your glycogen to make those phony gains are going. The phony gains are going out. They're draining out. They're draining out. Let's put the phony gains back again. We got to eat carbohydrates. That's why I try to tell you guys, try to build muscle, going to the gym adapted, and try to build it on just a protein diet and notice what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Get it? Nothing. The weight on the scale is not going to go up. Unless those muscles are damaged and then repaired and remodeled, There's no other way that that scale is going up. Get it? You understand me? It's not going up. But if you eat carbohydrates, notice the scale go up right away when you eat carbohydrates. Yeah.
Needs old exercise. And again, I'm not against.
So how does muscles build? How do they build? What's the cytoplasm of the muscle cell made up of? Sarcoplasmic. Sarcoplasm. All right. It's the same as the cytoplasm. That's what it is. All right. What surrounds the myofibrils? Sarcoplasmic what? The fluid. Sarcoplasmic too. It's made up of. It's an energy source. The energy source is in the cells, and the energy source surrounds the myofibrils. But it is definitely used as a catalyst in muscle damage. You definitely need it because you want to make space for the myofibrils. Get it? So they can grow in there. Yeah. That's how you get bigger. If you know how to use these two modalities, these two hypertrophies, to get real muscles and get bigger and get really jacked, then yes, it would work for you. But a lot of these people are lazy and don't know what they're getting, and they don't even understand what sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is. Actually, to understand sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is probably the most important hypertrophy to understand in myofibrillar growth. The other one is easy. It's just based on an adaptation process, muscle damage. You damage muscles, they repair, they remodel, okay? They take a week period to repair and model. But the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, you have to understand the concept of how it works exactly. Get it? See what I mean? You can train just for sarcoplasmic, but you could train for muscle damage and you get sarcoplasmic at the same time. Get it? See what I mean? It's a tool.
New stuff being found, but the new stuff that people think they find literally doesn't bring anything to the table. They're just wasting your time. They're just confusing training.
That's what he's doing. He thinks it's all about training. It has nothing to do with training. Loading this glycogen has nothing to do with training. Just eat a lot of starch and you'll grow these so-called sarcoplasmic muscles and you'll look jacked, more jacked than the last time. Anything that you do in the gym, you're going to get pumped. Any movement or anything, you'll get magnificently pumped like crazy. If you eat shit loads of potatoes and go there and work out, you'll get massive pumps like you can't even imagine. But now that's all you're going to get. But now if you damage muscle fibers, repair and remodel them and get pumped, well, that's going to really carry you a lot further, right? Because now you're building myofibrillar growth. See what I mean? You'll get some sarcoplasmic, but you're building myofibrillar growth, real muscles. They're built through an adaptation process, dude. Get it? They're actually real muscles you're building now. You're not building these fake, phony, artificial muscles, sarcoplasmic muscles. Get it, dude?
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today.
Think about it. Why do the people, when they go off steroids, why are all their gains disappeared? Because it was based on sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's why all their gains disappeared. Why do natural people, they are like lifting slaves? They come often to the gym. They go on vacation somewhere for a week, 2 weeks. They come back and they look like their gains left or something. Or people even on like creatine. They stop the creatine, then the phony gains go away. What is that based on? Water? Based on ATP, energy, water, whatever. But that stuff is not the same as glycogen because it's not based on glycogen. Look, creatine, when it puts water in the sarcoplasm, it puts water in there, but it's not based on glycogen because it's glycogen that fills in there. That's why there's no point doing that. You might as well just eat potatoes all day. Get it? Now, I've done sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. You see me in my black clothes in that first intro video. The last video, that sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's why I look so jacked and big. Because that's what it does. The mass makes you look massive. The mass makes you look big. But the myofibrillar is what gives you the density and gives you the strength and the proliferation of these motor units, increasing your natural strength. But if you just build mass through glycogen and you try to arm wrestle somebody, you are physically weak. And you're only good at lifting a heavy weight through force production. You got a force production, but you never got physically stronger. So I try to explain to people, but they're just so daft out there.
I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
Yeah, I don't know. Was that informative? I don't know. New exercise and silly devices are not the key to gains. They're not the key to gains. The key to gains is doing it properly. The key to gain is myofibrillar growth and some sarcoplasmic growth. But if you want the key to phony gains, it's sarcoplasmic. If you want the key just to real gains, it's myofibrillar. That's why there's two types of hypertrophy. It just means something is getting bigger. It doesn't mean it has to be real just because it's getting bigger. Get it? It's not based on real. See what I mean? See you in the next one. Like, subscribe, support the channel, helps. Comment down below, helps the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.